What happened to Sister Wives? I mean, really, how did a show that once gave us raw, emotional moments about love, family, and faith turn into a slow, awkward parade of forced drama and empty interviews? It's not just disappointing, it's embarrassing. We're watching a family that's already broken apart being dragged back in front of cameras to relive pain they've already moved past. And for what? So we can dissect an elbow bump or pretend a joke about being a favorite ex wife is headline news? Hey, friends, welcome back. I'm Aliva, and this is TLC's Sister Wives Secret. If you've ever felt like the show is gaslighting you, like they're calling it a tell all but telling you absolutely nothing, then you're in the right place. Go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe for more honest commentary, and definitely let me know your thoughts in the comments because I have a feeling we've all had it with the nonsense. This season wasn't about healing or closure. It was about dragging out scenes with Cody, Robyn, Meri, Christine, and Janelle until there was barely anything left to squeeze. No real answers, no real tension, just recycled pain packaged like entertainment. We're going to unpack exactly how this show lost its soul and why TLC seems determined to insult our intelligence with every passing episode. The tell all used to mean something. It was supposed to be that one chance where the gloves came off, where real feelings were acknowledged, and the truth finally had a place to breathe. But what we got this time, it wasn't a tell all. It was a cold, disconnected courtroom drama, except without the drama. Just long pauses, safe answers, and filler stretched so thin you could see right through it. Suki tried her best, maybe. But when she looked Robyn in the eye and asked if an accidental bump while moving furniture was appropriate, you could practically hear the audience roll their eyes. Is that really the most controversial moment TLC could find? 10 minutes spent analyzing an elbow graze? That's not storytelling. It's stalling. It felt scripted, sanitized, and completely out of touch with where the real story lives. And Cody? He wasn't answering. He was performing. Every sigh, every shrug, every eye roll, none of it felt like a man confronting the collapse of a plural marriage. It felt like a guy playing a part he's no longer interested in, but still willing to show up for because the check clears. The same goes for Robyn. She spent most of the time avoiding eye contact, shrugging, repeating, I don't know, and giving off the energy of someone just trying to survive another press tour, not someone invested in closure or honesty. Christine looked emotionally done. Janelle kept it respectful, but her body language said everything. And Meri. You could tell she was holding back, trying to play nice, but barely masking her exhaustion with the whole charade. There were no explosive revelations, no accountability, no meaningful conversations about what this family has truly lost. Instead, we watched as old footage was rehashed, timelines were ignored, and everyone danced around topics we know they could have answered if they wanted to. But they didn't. Because this wasn't about truth. It was about optics. It was about keeping the machine running. The saddest part is they've all emotionally checked out. But they're still sitting under those lights, giving nothing, while the audience clings to any scrap of authenticity left. And TLC? They're just dragging this out, pretending like we don't notice that the soul of the show has already left the building. By now, even the most loyal fans are starting to feel it. The disconnect, the emptiness, and no one embodies that more than Robyn. This woman sat through an entire reunion, shrugging like she was allergic to commitment. I don't know. I can't remember. I didn't see that. Over and over again. How are we supposed to believe she's never had a drink when we've literally seen footage of her at bars? Or that she doesn't watch clips, even as she visibly reacts to them in real time? Either she's got a short memory or she's performing a carefully rehearsed version of herself. And it's exhausting to watch. Then there's Cody, who still tries to play the heartbroken husband role. But we've seen enough to know what real emotion looks like, and those tears during Meri's move didn't land. They didn't feel like pain. They felt like a man mourning his public image, not his marriage. He looked more bothered by the optics than by the end of a 30-year relationship. That wasn't heartbreak, that was theater. And TLC, they're treating us like we can't see the cracks. Like we're supposed to take these one-word answers and long silences as some sort of deep emotional moment. But there's no emotional truth here anymore. just blank stares and empty chairs. It's insulting to ask viewers to keep pretending this is still real. When the people in the room stopped being honest a long time ago, while Robyn sat silently, dodging accountability like it was a game of dodgeball, the other women, Meri, Christine, and Janelle, started doing something revolutionary for this show. They stopped playing along. Janelle was the quiet strength in the background for years, calm, composed, and constantly underestimated. But it was her who hit the most honest breaking point. That blowout fight with Cody, where he stormed out of her apartment, wasn't just another marital spat. It was the moment she realized this isn't love. This isn't respect. She had spent decades being the peacekeeper, the provider, the quiet one. But when Cody turned his back on her children during the pandemic and played favorites with Robyn's kids, that was it. You could see it in her eyes. She was done. Not just with the marriage, but with the lie. Christine, on the other hand, had always worn her heart on her sleeve. She cried, she laughed, she hoped. And for years, she desperately wanted to be loved by Cody in the way he clearly reserved for Robyn. But her strength came when she finally said enough. When she kicked Cody out, it wasn't dramatic. It was quiet, powerful. She didn't scream. She simply reclaimed her space. And then she thrived. She built a new life, new love, and a new voice that didn't tremble anymore. And Meri, oh, Meri. For so long, people saw her as difficult, the one who stirred things up. But here's the truth. Meri was the only one who told Cody exactly what she thought. She didn't sugarcoat it. She didn't keep sweet. That infamous moment when she called him out during the move, when he fumbled through fake tears and half-truths, was the first time the show felt real again. She didn't let him pretend. She stared him down with the honesty he never knew what to do with. These women didn't just leave a man, they left a broken system. They stepped away from the performance, the gaslighting, the control. They realized their worth was never tied to how well they could please Cody or the church or TLC's narrative. And by walking away, they gave us something this show rarely gives anymore: truth. Real, painful, beautiful truth. At some point, the producers stopped caring about telling a story and started caring only about stretching one. What we got this season wasn't a reunion. It was a hostage situation with commercial breaks. TLC took moments so small they barely registered and blew them up like they were season-defining scandals. 10 full minutes spent on Meri's elbow grazing Cody during a furniture move. Another 10 on Cody calling her his favorite ex-wife, which, let's be honest, was barely even a joke, let alone an emotional breakthrough. It felt less like reality TV and more like a parody of it. And let's be real, this was never about closure. None of the real questions were even touched. What's going on with the kids? How are these women rebuilding their lives post-divorce? What did it really cost them to stay in these relationships for so long? Those are the questions fans have been screaming into the void for years. Instead, we got fluff, filler, and the same tired talking heads answering questions nobody asked. And while all this is happening, while we're watching 4 episodes of emotionally vacant content, you know who's winning? TLC. Because the longer they stretch the show, the more ads they can run, the more shoulder shrugs they can sell. It's not storytelling, it's exploitation. Viewers aren't watching for entertainment anymore. They're watching because they've invested over a decade into these lives, and they're hoping, praying, that something meaningful will finally happen. The saddest part? The show could have had that. It could have honored the pain, the loss, the strength it took for these women to walk away, but instead, it dragged their divorces out like a slow-motion car crash. There was no closure, no healing, just dragged out episodes for the sake of profit. Christine's transformation deserved more. Janelle's heartbreak over Cody turning on her kids deserved more. Even Meri's quiet grief and resilience deserved more. But we didn't get any of that. We got empty interviews, fake tears, and staged awkwardness. When a show turns pain into a paycheck, it stops being reality and starts becoming emotional manipulation. And that's exactly what this has become. TLC isn't documenting a family anymore. They're milking the end of one. When you strip away all the stretched storylines, forced interviews, and manufactured awkwardness, what are we really left with? A show that once promised insight into a unique family structure has become a tired machine, running on fumes. Sister Wives could have been so much more. It could have closed this chapter with dignity, reflection, and truth. Instead, it clung to shallow drama, afraid to let go, even when the people living it had already moved on. Christine has stepped into a new life with grace and honesty. Janelle found her voice, not through screaming matches, but by quietly setting boundaries and choosing her children. And Meri, who was often misunderstood, has finally stopped trying to win love from someone who never offered it freely. These women showed more courage walking away than Cody ever did staying put. Robyn and Cody, on the other hand, seem stuck in a version of the story that no longer exists, where control, silence, and selective memory pass for intimacy. But that's not love. That's fear, disguised as loyalty. And viewers know the difference. If anything has kept this show going, it's not the drama. It's the viewers who stuck around, hoping for truth, healing, and resolution. But TLC didn't give us that. They gave us commercialized heartbreak. So where does that leave us? Tired, disappointed, but also proud of the women who chose themselves. If you followed this story from the beginning, maybe you're asking the same question I am. Are we done? Has Sister Wives finally run its course? I want to hear from you. Are you ready to say goodbye to this show, or do you think there's still something left worth watching? Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I'm Oliva, and this is TLC's Sister Wife Secret. If you felt any of this in your gut, if you're nodding your head right now, please hit that like button, subscribe for more honest commentary, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Your voice matters, especially here. Until next time, take care of yourselves, and don't settle for someone who only loves you when you stay quiet.